First, I'd like to talk about the pilot program that we have going. It's very different than anything the NYPD has done in the past. What the pilot program is basically a new way of policing. We've changed the way the 34th Precinct operates. Many units that did exist in the 34th Precinct have been eliminated. There was a SNU unit, Street Narcotic Enforcement Unit, that's been eliminated. A school unit that's been eliminated. 4 to 12 conditions team that's been eliminated. A midnight conditions team eliminated. A day tour conditions team. A parks team and a housing team. All these teams have been eliminated. And there was an impact zone in the 34th Precinct, which is basically officers assigned to foot posts in a small area of the precinct. That's been eliminated. Now I know what you're thinking, where did all these cops go? Well, the good news is all the cops went into the patrol force of the 34th Precinct, and the patrol force was expanded considerably. What the patrol force is the officers who come in each tour, and for say the 3 to 11, what we call the 4 to 12 shift, 3 p.m. by 11:30 p.m., the ones that go out and answer radio runs. When you call 911, the ones that respond. When you have a 311 complaint, those are the ones who respond. Typically, we would turn out 5 of those cars each tour. We are now up to turning out, on average, at 3 to 11, 9 cars per tour. On a 3 p.m. by 11 p.m. shift, we're turning out 9 cars instead of the 5 we were turning out before. In fact, I just did a small study of the past month. There were nights we turned out 11 cars, nights we only turned out 7 cars. But the bottom line is we're turning out more police cars than we did in the past. We've got more resources than we used to have. Our allotment of patrol RMPs, radio motor patrol cars, police cars, used to be 13, now it's 17. We have a precinct that has officers that every one of them has a smartphone. We are one of the only precincts in the city to have that because we're part of the pilot program. Every one of our police cars has a tablet inside it. We're one of the only precincts in the city to have that. And by the way, the only other precincts are the other 3 precincts that are doing the pilot program. We were the first to get the smartphones, the first to get the tablets, the first to get the additional police cars. This pilot program is a very good thing for the 34th Precinct. I believe that it's going to work going forward. What it's really about is returning a sense of permanency to the cops that patrol your streets. It's the same officers day in and day out that patrol the same streets. The precinct's divided up into 4 sectors. Every sector has neighborhood coordinating officers. Those officers can work any shift they need to work, can have whatever days off they need to have, so that they can address the conditions that are particular to the streets they patrol. And all of those officers are here tonight. Depending on where you live, your particular officer is here. There's Sergeant Hernandez is in the back. He's the guy with the chevrons on his arm, the stripes. And when the meeting is over, you can go over to him and he will tell you exactly who your neighborhood coordinating officer is so that you can meet them. Now, as I said, when you first hear this and you hear about a change in the way we do patrol in the 34th Precinct, you might be concerned that this is going to have perhaps a negative effect on your quality of life, a negative effect on crime. Well, I'm very glad to report that that's quite the opposite. This has been in place since May 18th. Monday, May 18th, we kicked this off. So over the last 28-day period, as we call it the ComStat period, we look at crime in sections of 4 weeks. Over the last 4 weeks, crime is down 18.7% in the 34th Precinct. We have 87 major felonies versus 107 during those same 4 weeks last year. More specifically, I'll tell you the types of crimes that we have reductions in. Over the last 4 weeks, that 18.7% reduction in crime, we have reductions in robberies, felony assaults, burglaries, grand larceny autos. So there are reductions in several key areas. Another important fact, people shot, person shot, what we call shootings, when someone is actually struck by gunfire. We have none over the last 4 weeks. During the same 4 weeks last year, we had 2. So our shootings are 0 this year versus 2 during the same period last year. So what we're seeing so far with the pilot program is that for the 34th Precinct, for here, it's working.